Hello and welcome to today's twin flame reading for the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine and the current union energy going on between the two. And yeah, it's Sunday evening, late Sunday evening over here, so this will get uploaded probably, closer to midnight my time, which is California time, Pacific time. So anyway, I don't know, it's like it's been one of those days, just like I can't really do more than I'm being called to do, and I am healing into that. And also it's the first day of the new Mayan cycle, if you pay attention to that calendar. So it's like it's the new year, and I feel it, yesterday, if you watched my reading or you want to go back to it, it's like for the portal that was yesterday was like the day out of time. So I think that there's just this energy of renewal, but it does require some kind of more meditative, and more also like choosing to receive like what it is that God wants to give you, rather than trying to like go and get something. And that's like the new vortex, I feel like, of what is going on in your own way, for whatever it is you're moving through. And certainly, that's true for me. So the other thing I wanted to mention, if you go to my homepage for my YouTube channel, there's a featured channel. Well, there's Jeff and Shalia's featured channel, and there's also Twin Flames Universe. And I did a reading for August, and you can check it out there. I can also link it below. But yeah, if you just click on that channel, you'll see it. So if you want to check that out for the whole month of August, you can. I try not to cross-upload things because I like to put out, more original content when it comes to videos. Although I will repost pictures and stuff like that. I think that's a little different personally, but anyway, let's get started with the reading. So today I've got 3 crystal angel cards. Those are originally by Doreen Virtue. As you may know, she has definitely left the scene. I mean, that's like kind of old news, but I just felt like mentioning it, so there you go. And then I have an Eternal Crystals Oracle card by Jade-Sky. So let's get started with the Divine Masculine's card. His card is spiritual or religious community. So join with like-minded people for friendship and increased spiritual growth. So this to me is really signifying the Divine Masculine is getting to experience that desire that he has. He's like kind of stepping into the actual experience of going deeper in some kind of a community that does have, spiritual component. And if you're the Divine Masculine watching this and you haven't already, you can always consider joining Twin Flames Universe Open Forum on Facebook. If you're on your twin flame journey, it's really the place to go. And it's really supportive and can be really fun and interesting and healing to read other people's posts too. So that's one thing you can do. And it also just speaks to your personal, your personal practice, and maybe it has something to do too with sharing your own knowledge and your own spiritual path, whatever kind of pearls of wisdom that you've gained. Maybe time to kind of call in more people just to share that with. You want to have relationships that have a healthy foundation and that are based in unconditional love. So you always want to relate to people, of course, from there. And oftentimes spirituality can, true spirituality can be a really great way to connect. And of course, you can kind of tell if people are not truly on their journey or somehow kind of backing down, then they may temporarily or permanently kind of vibe out of a relationship with you. But that's okay, that can and generally does happen, but it's not a reason to stop yourself from fully investing in a relationship with another human being. And, it can be other things too that aren't directly spiritual, but just having those connections essentially just, that are based in the unconditional love and just choosing to be received and to developing more of that in your life could just feel really good and supportive to you right now. And just know that, when you grow, others grow too, along with you, as kind of one like mind, one consciousness. So it's really a beautiful thing to witness that. And of course, this also speaks to your union with your twin flame and going deeper with just the connection there. And again, the twin flame journey. And in a way that feels good and appropriate to you at this time. Of course, sometimes you're going to have to step out of your comfort zone, but you don't need to do anything that is, just feels like too much. Like it's safe to be compassionate with yourself on your spiritual journey and to just take it one step at a time. And there's also going to be points in your life, of course, where you're going to want to consume more information or be more involved. And then there's going to be times where you need to kind of exhale, right? And maybe absorb what it is you've just learned or whatever it could be. So yeah, just safe to go through those cycles, recognize kind of where you're at with it, and call in the appropriate, thing that matches your desire for that. Like, if you want to, more talk with people, or if it means you want to, read a book like Twin Flames, Finding Your Ultimate Lover, or A Course in Miracles. Just whatever that next step is, just choose it. And even if it turns out, I was gonna do this, but I'm actually gonna do this, then that's okay. You just decided though to take that next step, and it was, revealed to you what was the appropriate next step, and you choosing it. And that's very attractive to your twin flame union too. It's not just about you and your twin flame, it's also, the center of it is actually about your relationship with God. And so, that kind of speaks for itself. That is actually the number one thing, and that's kind of the key to your twin flame union, is realizing that your twin flame is not your source, and to first and foremost develop a loving and trusting relationship with God, and through that yourself, and then in that order after that comes your twin flame, because you cannot put your twin flame before yourself. That always feels very uncomfortable, not just to you, but also to them. So let's move on to the Divine Feminine card. The Divine Feminine's card is Own Your Divine Power. So replace codependent people-pleasing with assertiveness and empowerment. Ooh, very nice. Well, I was feeling this today, sometimes it's not appropriate to just kind of not assert yourself, essentially. Just if you feel something, it's okay. It's okay to feel that. It's okay to express that. And it's okay, on the other hand, for the other party to express themselves, and for you to hold space for that, and know that you have the space that you're being held in by God to express yourself in, and that nothing's stopping you from that. Of course, you're not going to express yourself the same way in every situation. it doesn't mean that you're being inauthentic just because you're aware of, your connections in a certain situation, a certain group with certain people. And, I could even put this into astrology and say, generally, signs that are ruled by Mercury, if that's your rising sign, like for instance, Gemini, especially, is gonna probably be more like fluid and mirroring to who they're talking to. And so sometimes, it could appear that they're acting very different from situation to situation, but that's actually like more of how you relate, perhaps if your rising sign is Gemini, although of course there's other stuff going on in your chart. Whereas other rising signs might really be like very much just kind of the same in dealing with everyone and have kind of a very like sort of, I don't know, like almost a methodical process. So you can just like feel into, what feels good to you and how do you relate to people. And it's also safe for that to change. It doesn't need to like be something just because you were told that's how your rising sign, acts. But the main thing here again is to not fall into people-pleasing patterns and to clear this from your childhood too. If you were ever blamed for your parents' emotions, and I'm, like it's safe to have compassion for your parents no matter like what kind of a relationship you do or don't have with them at this point. But in any case, if you're ever blamed as a kid for, anything that your parents were feeling or whatever, then that would be a really good way for you to potentially fall into a people-pleasing pattern. And, because you're, as a kid, trying to survive, you're doing everything you can to kind of fall into alignment with your caretakers. And so, that's what you do generally. And you don't need to do that. It's actually, it's just not healthy, and it's not a fully mature state of being. And it's also safe to have compassion for yourself, where you do see that, oh yeah, I have done that, or even recently I was doing that, or ooh, I didn't realize, even though I thought I was being assertive, actually, as I heal this upset, there's something here where I was holding back. So you just want to heal what it is that's in your awareness. You can't always, the saying, hindsight's always 20/20. Well, yeah, you can't always see everything as it's coming at you. As you come into more alignment with your true self, you do see more of that, right? Because your intuition becomes very clear. And so it's also safe to trust that clarity as well, and really go with your feelings. If you just set the intention to act and to be, to live from a state of love, then that's what you will do. And when you find that you're straying from your intention, you can just ask to be shown the correct way, by your relationship with the divine. And you always will be, as long as you're choosing it. You're safe. Of course you're gonna make mistakes, and part of the mastery is like learning how to love yourself through the supposed mistake. It's not just about not making the same mistake twice. It's about actually just loving yourself, because in that loving yourself, you're much less likely to make the same mistake twice, because you're learning the essential lesson. That's kind of it. Just it's this next level of reclaiming your power. So that feels pretty complete. And of course, also, this is very attractive within your twin flame union to do that. You might think people pleasing is the way to go with attracting your twin flame, and you might say, no, I don't think that, but if you really are honest with yourself, probably at some point, maybe, maybe we're doing that. And yeah, of course the DM can do that too, and have a similar kind of pattern or something else, that's in some way similar. And anyways, it's not attractive to your twin flame at all, so that's just another incentive to heal that. Yeah, so let's move on to the middle cards. And we have emeralds, just like the Emerald City. Ceremonies and celebrations. It's a time of important life passages such as weddings, birthdays, graduations, or anniversaries. Yeah, this immediately makes me think of, again, the Mayan New Year, and that it is an important passage. Like, you are, I kind of poke fun of portals and stuff because they just sound so dramatic, right? Like, you are co-creating with God in your life. A portal is not like creating your life for you. And sometimes portals are very it's like, oh my God, the year and the month and the day match. I mean, it's cool, and there is something real to it in the numerology, and you can always feel your own experience of that. But when you get so excited about something, even getting excited about a holiday is the same thing. It's like, if you kind of leak your energy into a holiday, there's a difference between celebrating and leaking, your energy into something. So I would just invite you, whenever you're aware that there's kind of a new cycle or an energetic shift, to just choose peace. And that it doesn't mean that you won't get excited or amped up or want to celebrate, but it can come from a peaceful place rather than an anxious or like a numbed out place or kind of a distracted place. And I guess that's the message of this card, really, that's coming through, is just that, to practice peace as you do go into the new vortex, because that really allows the universe to give you more, like, okay, you're not getting too high. It's appropriate sometimes to feel the higher point of the vibration you're in that's kind of within the range of where you're at. But if you were to kind of stay in that like higher place without grounding, it's going to feel uncomfortable. But of course your energy is going to, move and everything. And so that's okay. But it's just like when you're showing the universe essentially that you're responsible with your energy and that you care about it and you really care about your vibration and you love where you're at completely, then that's how Source knows that you're just ready for more love, because you're just choosing to actively build that foundation and expand it. So it's another level of peace and mastery in that place, and choosing to build the kingdom of heaven on earth. And the last card is obsidian. So pretty, this like beautiful black color. The energy of this crystal coming through the card too. Oh yeah. So this is root chakra and it's protection. And yeah, I feel like the message here is really like you are protected, and you're going deeper with that. And what it really means to feel protected in this new level that you're stepping into, this new vortex. Because protection doesn't come from outside of you. It doesn't come from what you do, it's a natural state of being, because love is is just the safest thing, right? It's powerful, and you are vulnerable in choosing to give and receive love, and it's not gonna always feel good to love everyone in the same way, because sometimes love does look like setting a very strong boundary versus, baking someone a cake. So, yeah, it's just appropriate to accept that God's got your back and to fully trust that, and to just choose to receive guidance and the next step. And when you are feeling like there's something in your vibration that doesn't feel good, in your reality, like that's, maybe holding you back, it's safe to acknowledge that, even if it means like having to work through an upset, which is pretty normal to work through upsets anyway. But just know that, like maybe you don't love something about your environment or whatever it could be, and sometimes the only way for something to change is to acknowledge that something is not okay with you. It doesn't mean that you're not practicing peace and being loving and acknowledging what you don't appreciate that in your reality. That's okay. That's actually how you can come to peace with it, is acknowledging how you actually feel and your truth. Like, well, I would much rather, live in this place that I'm really been imagining for a long time than, the place that I'm in. And I think, oftentimes it's an ego trap. Like, well, don't think about the thing that it is that you really desire, because basically you don't deserve it. You're not worthy, you're not appreciating what you already have. And there's definitely truth to appreciating what you already have and being grateful and blessing others who have what it is you desire and all of that. But you also just need to get real with your desires and accept that you have those in your heart, and they are there to be manifested, perhaps not in the exact way that you are envisioning them, and some of them, yes, pretty much. But either way, it's just safe to take that step and feel into what really feels good and appropriate for you. And even if you're not there, it's okay, but that's the first thing, is feeling that feeling. How do you think people are able to accept greatness, regarding different things into their life? Not usually by denying that they desire it, So safe for the same for you. So that's gonna conclude today's reading. I hope you enjoyed it and have a wonderful beginning of this kind of transition out of July and into August, and the beginning of this new cycle too with the Mayan New Year. And I will see you again soon. So take care. Check out the links below if you want to work with me. There's a really wonderful option to do an introductory session. Highly recommend it, because the work that I practice and that I utilize in my coaching sessions is really powerful, and it's based off of the mirror exercise taught by Jeff and Shalia. And there's also a link to the book I mentioned earlier below on that. And throwing that out there for you. Definitely, it's a great idea to claim your support on your spiritual twin flame life purpose journey, and recognize it's all one thing, and that what you choose to invest in yourself when it feels good comes back to you multiplied. And you can also subscribe to my channel if you are not yet, because I put out readings every day, and then you'll be in the know. And I love it. I love every time I get a new subscriber. It makes me really happy. So anyway, have a wonderful beginning of your week, and I'll see you soon. Love you. Bye.